Hello, everybody, and welcome back to episode 33 of Gaming with Claire. This week is a feature on my MONORED burn deck, which is inspired by Alth MTG's video that he put out last week on MONORED burn. He hit rank 1 mythic with it and was doing really well at high rank, and I wanted to try my hand at it. This is not his version. I don't have all the cards for the good version of the deck, but I would absolutely recommend you check out Alth MTG's video from last week. I'll be linking it in the description to this video. And that video is a really in-depth and very well done guide to MONORED burn, which helped me a lot when I was inspired, like I said, to build this deck. I sort of based it on what he had in his deck and had to make some collection concessions because I don't have a full collection. So some of the cards that I really like in this deck, I'll actually go over all of them. Why not, right? So Kamado faces Kakazan, really strong. Deals that 1 damage when it comes into play and then becomes a hasty creature on turn 3. Play with Fire is a Scry effect. That's the same card as Shock. It's just an instant that deals 2 to any target. Really strong. Shock is a staple in a deck like this. As I don't have a full collection, Spikefield Hazard stands in for some of the lands. It's an instant that deals 1 to any target and exiles any permanent that's dealt damage this way. And then Strangle is pretty strong. Alth, I believe, was running it in the sideboard, but I'm doing best of 1 with this deck, so I'm running a sideboard, and I think Strangle is good enough to run it in a sideboard, in a main deck sort of build in best of 1 if you don't have a full collection. So I'm running Strangle. I do run Voldaren Epicure, which is a really good card, I think, in this kind of a deck, because if you run out of gas, which you can if you don't find the Light Up the Stage, the Reckless Impulse, the Lelia, or the Chandra, and that's only like 10 cards. It's really good to have the Blood Token, plus just dealing 1 damage to each opponent, and having a 1/1 creature for 1 mana is pretty good. Kessig Flame Breather, Thermal Alchemist, I don't think they go in the refined list. But they're really strong when you're sort of on a budget. And then Reckless Impulse is just the same card as Light Up the Stage. They both exile the top 2 cards of your library, and until the end of your next turn you may play those cards. Cool thing about Light Up the Stage is it has Spectacle, which means if you cast it for its Spectacle cost, you can do that. If your opponent lost life this turn, you can cast it for only 1, and that's really powerful, obviously. Lelia, the Blade Reforged, really strong legendary creature. It is a 3 mana 2/2 with haste at base, but when it attacks, you exile the top card of your library. You may play that card this turn. That would be fine. That'll be fine, a solid playable in this deck. But then also, whenever 1 or more cards are put into exile from your library and or your graveyard, you put a +1/+1 counter on Lelia. So she gets really big, really fast. Really strong card. Chandra, Dress to Kill, a little bit of extra smork, and then if you can ultimate the Chandra, you probably won the game. Most of the time, for me, I'm looking to cast the first +1, so I add a little bit of red mana, deal 1 damage to a player or planeswalker. This deck is mono red, so you can, if you need draw, exile the top card of your library. If it's red, you can cast it this turn. The exile also synergizes with Lelia, because when you exile the card from your library, you put a +1/+1 counter on Lelia. So Chandra and Lelia work pretty well together. They're both really strong cards. Land base, I've got 18 mountains, and then of course I have the Spikefield Hazards as well that do the split. I forget what it's called, but dual-faced lands. So we have a land on one side that's a tap land, and then we have Spikefield Hazard, which deals 1 damage to any target, like we talked about, and exiles it if it dies. It's an instant, so it just lets me run less mountains. I haven't had any issues with mana. Usually I'm looking to have 2 mana sources in the opener. 3 is acceptable, 1 is not, and I'm looking to get 2 as the ideal thing, because almost every card in the deck costs 2, and if I then get another additional mana, then Lelia and Chandra can come down. With Light Up the Stage, Reckless Impulse, Chandra in the deck, it's pretty easy to find the cards you need. We also have Play with Fire. The Scry effect there can help a lot finding the cards you need. I really like this deck. I find it a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoy the video. And if you do, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and check me out on Twitch, twitch.tv/Glare, and twitter.com/Glare_HS, where I post my best deck ideas. mainly for Wild Hearthstone, but also for Magic. So for those of you who've stuck around at this point who are Hearthstone players, I'm gonna have another video out this week that is going to be on Hearthstone. I'm really excited about Magic, but I want to make sure I'm staying up to date with my Hearthstone play as well, and that I'm sharing videos with you guys related to Hearthstone, because obviously the new expansion came out, Murder at Castle Nathria, and there's a lot of stuff that I've been testing over on my Twitch channel and also off camera related to Hearthstone. So I'm Diamond 2 in Hearthstone right now. I'm going to try to hit Legend before I publish my video on whatever deck gets me there. And if I'm unable to hit Legend, then maybe I'll just do what got me to Diamond 2, which I've actually been having a lot of success, by the way, if you guys are Hearthstone players, with Shadow Priest. That's the deck I've been climbing with. So I might put out a video on Shadow Priest this week as well. Without further ado, we're going to hop into some gameplay. Thank you guys so much for sticking around through the description. Do make sure you check out Alth MTG's video. As I said, will publish the video, and I'll put the link to Alth's video in the description of the video so you guys can go check it out. Thanks again. All right, everybody. So we are looking for a game. We found a game. That was quick. We're against another gold ranked opponent. We are looking at 2 lands. This is an actually amazing hand. Almost god tier. I think it's a very strong hand. So we're going to full keep this hand. 1 more land, and we have Lelia or Chandra. We do have Light Up the Stage active on turn 2 with the shock. So I mean, it's really up to what his deck is doing, right? He could have some life gain stuff and we could be in trouble. Shambling Ghast is completely fine. So we want to, I think, play a mountain, shock the Shambling Ghast, kill that off, and that's the turn. So next turn we're going to probably Reckless Impulse. Vengeful Strangler. Okay, this card's cool. We get our Komodo Faces Kakazan going. We're gonna go. We're gonna be playing the Light Up the Stage. We're gonna deal some damage to him. So we're gonna go to combat. He can't block, so he loses 2 life, and then we get to Light Up the Stage for 1, which we're gonna do. See if we can find another land. Spectacle cost. Another 2 more Light Up the Stages? What? That's insane. Okay, so we play another Light Up the Stage. The top 2 cards of our library. We're looking for a mountain. Didn't find it. That's unfortunate. We're going to go mountain. I'm going to Light Up the Stage again. I think that's correct. Just get a bunch of draw. We found a mountain to play, and we can play all the cards out next turn. Wow. Dude, 3 Light Up the Stages in the top, what, 8 cards? More than that. 12? 12 cards, I think. Nutty. So this card is going to generate a lot of zombie creature tokens, but that shouldn't really matter. I don't know enough about the metagame to know if he's playing a meta deck, but our deck should do fine here. So he's going to attack here. Deadly Dispute, okay. So this will force us to sacrifice a non-land permanent at the beginning of the opponent's upkeep. We're going to play... I think we're going Gussick Flame Breather. We could go Chandra too. Yeah, we're going to go Chandra here, I think. I'm going to Gussick Flame Breather. And then I'm going to play a mountain. Play with fire. See what happens, see what the top deck is. Well, darn Epicure, I like that well enough. Sucks we lose the play with fire, but it's ultimately fine. I'm going to kill the Jadar. just can't block, so we can attack with the Getching of Kumano rather. Deal 2 there. Sucks we lose, like I said, the play with fire, but I think this was the right play. We sacrifice an on-land permanent. Sacrifice the Kumano, and that goes away. I wonder if he attacks here. He can't block with the zombie token. I'll bet you he attacks here. Anyway, why did I think he would attack? He's never attacking. In my head this was tapped, but it's not tapped. It has Summoning Sickness. The animation is Summoning Sickness, not tapped. So he would just lose the minion for no reason. He was never attacking there. The flyer could be kind of annoying. Alright, so we're going to play Chandra here. Deal 1 there. Deal another 1 with our Epicure, and then... Actually, I'm going to play Reckless Impulse. Deals a damage there. We get two cards, a Mountain and a Spikefield Hazard. I missequenced this. I should have played the Reckless Impulse first so I could play the Mountain from the Reckless Impulse, but that's okay. No attacks. He could just double block, right, with the Eye Twitch and the Shambling Ghast, kill off the Casting Flame Breather. With the -X counter from, or -1/-1 counter, I mean, from Shambling Ghast. Most likely he full attacks here. He wants to get maximum damage in. He might just attack with the Eye Twitch. I would not be surprised if he full attacked the Chandra, though. Vengeful Strangler, sure. If he attacks here, he's done. Okay, so he just attacks with the Eye Twitch, like I said. Spikefield Hazard, we're going to play a... I'm going to go like this. Deal 1 to the enemy. Gain a mana. Play a Mountain. Spikefield Hazard. Deals 1. Darn Epicure. Deals 1. And Spikefield Hazard. Deals 1. And then we play Lelia. Should have played Lelia first. I forgot that the attack will give me an exiled card. So we're full attacking here. I misordered this, but he has to block it with the Shambling Ghast or he's dead. Has to block the Lelia with the Shambling Ghast or he dies. They'll probably scoop here. So I'm pretty inexperienced with Mono-Red Burn. I like the archetype. I misplayed a couple of times this game with just like sequencing orders. Sequenced a couple of things awkwardly. I don't know if it was like terrible. Someone better than me could probably tell me how to play the turns out better, but it looks like we won on 19 health on turn mana 5, which is pretty cool. I've had more games where I win before turn 5 than I've had games that go past turn 5. I believe played like 15 games with versions of this deck, and I've won like eight of them, maybe 9 of them, and the game's usually over. I'm either conceding on turn 6 or I'm winning on turn 4 to 5. That's what usually ends up happening. 4 is a little bit aggressive. It doesn't always happen that I get the win on turn 4, but with Lelia in the deck, I feel like it's possible. And 5 is pretty common. So yeah, looks like we've won. He's roping us out. He's not happy about the loss. Unfortunately, we have to just sit here and wait for him to concede. But that is the game. Cool. Alright guys, so we're queuing up for game 2. And yeah, we've won a game already. We kind of clobbered a deck that was not prepared to beat MONORED burn. So yeah, we're on game 2, and we're hoping that this can be a repeat of game 1. We're against a gold opponent, or gold, so it makes sense we would go against a gold opponent, but this hand is not amazing, but I'm going to keep it because it has a 1-drop GwG Flame Breather, removal, and another 1-drop. So we're going to play the Kamano Faces Kakazan on 1, GwG Flame Breather on 2, and then Voldaren and Strangle on 3, I think. If I had my choice, I would get rid of one of these mountains and get like another Kamano Faces Kakazan, but this is just fine. So we're going to play the Kamano Faces Kakazan because then next turn we can make the Voldaren Epicure 2/2 with the +1/+1 counter from Kamano Faces Kakazan. Okay. So we're going to go Mountain here. We're going to, actually I think we're going to play the GwG Flame Breather. I'd rather do that than play 2 Voldaren Epicures. The Voldaren Epicures are burn later as well. Getting the GwG Flame Breather down is good if we need to strangle one of his minions. So he's playing Den of the Bugbear, which is a card that I actually don't own, but it probably means he's playing a similar deck to us, some form of like minion-based aggro. Whenever you cast a red spell, if it has fewer than 3 +1/+1 counters on it, put a +1/+1 counter on it, and you remove 3 to gain mana. That's really powerful. So we're going to go Thermal Alchemist here, play a land, Voldaren Epicure, and we attack here, I think, every time. If he blocks, he doesn't have his Runaway Stinkin anymore, and if he doesn't block, then he takes 4 damage, and we're in a good spot. I could have Strangled as well instead of the Voldaren Epicure, but I might need to strangle something more impactful. So, Crusher Giant, sure. It's kind of annoying. Damage can't be prevented, so he just kills the minion he's afraid of. That's a perfect strangle target, so we're going to go Strangle on his minion. I almost forgot the Thermal Alchemist ability first. I always forget to do that because I'm new to burn. But yeah, we kill the minion. Actually exile it, which is better. And do this. I don't know why it's not letting me activate the ability, but we've put ourselves in a good spot here. We could brick the draws, but we have a couple of blood tokens, so we're in a good spot, I think. We have him on what, 6 health on turn on mana 3. Yep. So next turn, if we draw like a land, we get to discard that land and draw a card. If we draw Chandra, the game's probably over. If we draw Lelia, the game is over. Let's see what he does. He can play the Bone Crusher Giant as a minion, I guess, and then he could block with that, but yep, there it is. Resolve that. He's going to block one of our creatures. It's fine. Pass to attackers. My turn. Light up the stage is really good, so we're going to full attack. He can only block one of them, so he's going to block the Etching of Kamano, I think. Blockers, he has to block, so he's taking 2 damage, and then we get to play Light Up the Stage, and he gets wrecked, hopefully. Activate the ability. We've activated Light Up the Stage for the spectacle cost. Found a mountain and a GwG Flame Breather. Okay, so we're going to play the GwG Flame Breather. These were not what we wanted, but it's fine. Gets us towards the cards we do want. We're going to activate that ability at the end of next turn. See what he does here. I might block with the Thermal Alchemist, like proc its ability and then block with it so I don't take damage. Resolve that. Chandra's a very good card. Glad I own it and can put it in the deck. There's some cards I don't own that I really want. Let that resolve. His problem is he only has 3 health. So we just top deck any burn card when he dies. Skewer the Critic, sure, so we activate that ability. He kills the Thermal Alchemist. I feel like he might have wanted to kill the GwG Flame Breather, and I do really feel like he loses the game here. Yeah, he should have killed the Kessig Flame Breather, 100%. I can draw twice towards a burn card. He's super dead. Play the Voldaren Epicure, I think. And then full attack. He has 1 mana to destroy this. Yeah. Okay, so that's the game. This game was quick as well. We won on mana 4. I'm going to play another game for this video, I think, but that's game number 2. I'll be right back with game 3. Right, so we're queuing in for game number 3. We're 2-0 so far. We beat two other games. We smoked them down. So hopefully this can be a third game and a third win. This hand is very good. Like I said, I'm looking for 2 lands in the opener, and then sort of the rest can kind of figure itself out mana-wise. And then we're looking for Kamano Faces, Kakazan, 1-drops, Kessig Flame Breather, and Thermal Alchemist, and we found all that. So easy full keep. It's another gold player. I have no idea what he's playing. He's a mystery to me. I don't know what this means either. He's running Forest, so maybe some life gain could be an issue for us. Play this. I'm gonna face Kakazan. We do that again next turn, and then we play the Light Up the Stage next turn. I might Kessig Flame Breather. I think it's better to get the Kamano Faces Kakazans down though, because it's 4 burn damage every turn. Burn sort of aggro, right? We get the 2/2s at the end of the Kamano Faces Kakazan saga. All right, so play a mountain. We're gonna play I think we are gonna play the Kamano Faces Kakazan and then the Light Up the Stage, because that'll deal 1. It'll activate Spectacle. Play that. Okay. I wish I could have not played a mountain, but I had to play a mountain land before I activated Spectacle. Otherwise, I would have had to pay 3 mana for Light Up the Stage and wouldn't have been able to play it. Okay, goblins, cool, spicy. We need the Strangle off the top would be the dream. So Thermal Alchemist. I'm gonna play a mountain. A Spikefield Hazard the 2/1 here, I think. Deny him the mana gain. I have to read this card. Zuratah Goblin. It has Riot, which means a creature with Riot enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter or a haste counter, so it's got a +1/+1 counter. That's very strong. We can't attack here, or the Etching of Kamano dies. So it's his turn. So going forward with this game, we basically need him not what? He might have a combat trick. I'm going to let that through. Don't want the Thermal Alchemist to die. We need to find Chandra. That would be the dream. A haste counter? No. Another +1/+1 counter. We need to find Chandra like yesterday. I'm going to go Kessig Flame Breather. And then we're going to cast Kamano Faces Kakazan. And that's the turn. I could double attack or even triple attack, but yeah. Go to combat. No attacks. I don't want him to get the free trade on the 2/2 with his 3/3. I could have tried to bait him into blocking and then like shocked the minion, but I want Shock to go face this game, I think. We'll see if it needs to. Pass to attackers. Double attacks. I'm going to let that through. Pass to blockers. No blocks. He might have burn to kill us, but he didn't have a land drop this turn, so. I'm recording a YouTube video.
I'm going to the house.
Okay, my brother's leaving for the afternoon. Have a good time over there, man.
Let us know when you're ready to come over.
I will. Yeah, it's just stuff going on. Got family in town, so we're gonna activate this. What does that card even do? Lava Coil deals 4 damage to target creature. If it would die, exile it instead. That's pretty powerful. We're going to play a Voldaren Epicure. It's that +1/+1 counter on it. We're gonna go Thermal Alchemist, Mountain, shock his face, and then he's fully tapped out, so we can attack here. He's 1 mana, a green mana, but he doesn't have anything to block with, so we got full attack here. He might have lethal, but we've got to go for the damage here. We have to push towards killing him, or we probably die. I can block with the Thermal Alchemist, which is pretty cool. He's full attacking again. That can't be right. He might have a trample effect, so I need to double block. I don't think I'm ever dying if I double block. Like, block each of his creatures, I mean. Sad we lose the Thermal Alchemist, but we deal 5. And, actually, sorry, 6, because we got the 7, because we got the other Etching of Kamano from the Saga. Colossus, yep, against Trample. He's dead. He's very dead. I don't know why he tried to continue fighting this game out. To combat, all attack, 4 attackers, and he's dead. Cool. That went well. Yep. So that's 3 up and 3 down. Feels pretty good. Again, I would highly recommend you guys check out Alth MTG's video on MONORED burn. I am not equipped to do like a guide, but I think that video that we just sort of recorded here, this 3-0 sweep, has sort of demonstrated how powerful MONORED burn can be right now. There's a lot of good cards for it, a lot of support, and only 20 health. So if you guys play Hearthstone, you know that there's 30 health in Hearthstone, and burn decks are a lot harder to have work. But here, you know, it's 20 health, so it's a lot easier to just win, and that's what we've done. We've gone 3-0. I'll be right back with an outro, and send you guys on your merry way. Thank you again for watching to this point, and I hope you've enjoyed the gameplay. Alright guys, so we've gone 3-0 in this video, which is always an exciting event. I usually play 2 or 3 games, and sometimes I go 3-0, sometimes I don't, but here we went 3-0. So what worked in the deck? Really strong cards that really showcase their strength in this deck were Kamano Faces Kakazan, Thermo Alchemist, and Chandra. So and Voldaren Epicure actually showed a lot of use as well. So Chandra's a carry unit. Kamano Faces Kakazan honestly is a carry unit, as well as Kessig Flame Breather and Thermo Alchemist showed up in almost every game. And Voldaren Epicure is just a really good 1-drop to play on 1, or to get the buff from your Kamano Faces Kakazan if you play the Voldaren Epicure on 2, say with a removal spell. This deck is really powerful, and I like I said, would highly recommend you check out the video that inspired me to make this deck, Alth MTG's in-depth MONORED burn guide. That's all from me, guys, for this week. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please do like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next episode of Gaming with Glare.